you're coming too.
From Washington State to now sunny California, we've been at it for 5 years. It began with selling our previous boat and taking that money to buy tools and build a shed. We assembled keel pieces, poured the ballast, and raised all 16 frames in the first 6 months.
There's a boat in there.
Now, half a decade later, and at a slower but steady pace, we're in the water. We're Salt and Tar, and this is our life. Like, subscribe, and support if you can.
Alright, gonna go serve up our Mizzen shrouds. Got all my stuff. Luckily, I'm just gonna walk right up there, string the shroud between the truck and that palm tree. What do you think, Bob?
Last time, we cut our wire for the Mizzen shrouds. Slightly different than how we did our main, instead of 4 individual cables, only 2 will loop around the Mizzen mast. Since we're using the same size wire as the main, it's plenty strong and saves us some time and effort. After serving, Garrett still has to leather the bit that loops around the mast, but the list isn't too long before we can step the Mizzen.
So I just made another simple little black locust block. Same thing I did on the main mast, and this is where the bolt for the throat halyard is gonna go. But I'm just using this block as a little spacer to hold the bolt further off the mast, so it'll give the double block some more clearance for the throat halyard. I just chiseled it out just to kind of let it into the mast a little bit, just so it sits flush, and then I'm just gonna put one little screw up here, and then I'm gonna run the eye bolt through the bottom. So I got everything coated up. There's my little black locust block. So I'm just gonna hit all that, some more goop, and then permanently fasten it in.
All the hardware is mounted. Time to cut a hole.
Ow.
Little mohawk.
My man bun.
Your hair looks so ridiculous.
I should not have left this out in the sun.
Oh,
it's like putting your face into an oven. Alright, here we go. working on that stand?
You're still on the far left side. I might just go ahead and move it a little bit.
You need help?
I think I should be able to just scoot it.
Okay.
Clear. Why, hello. Well, victory! I don't think you're gonna fit out this hole. Nice hair.
Oh, good thing it came out in the middle.
It did.
And look, this one's actually bigger than the diameter of the mast this time.
Whipped up a little batch of some thinned out epoxy. So coat up until the epoxy kicks. Just keep going around in a circle. After the epoxy cured, Garrett moved on to the collar. This is basically a lip to help keep water out. After the mast is in and situated, we'll make a canvas cloth boot around the base of the mast. So none of this will actually be seen, so rough and dirty is just fine.
Got the 2 double blocks, shackle C's. I need to put one more single block up here. That's going to be the halyard for like the Mizzen staysail, or if we fly any light wind, Mizzen, spinnaker, whatever. Double blocks are really overkill for this little Mizzen mast, but to be able to pull it up so easy. So it's like, I plan on a lot of the time in heavier weather just dumping the main and just running like staysail and Mizzen. So that way if you're in heavier weather and you need to put a reef in or something, it's just like super easy to hoist it up and down.
Hanging all the blocks and seizing is easier while the mast is on deck. We'll run lines too, and this is how we'll get up the mast to finish rigging.
Excessive when it comes to seizing.
When it comes to fill in the blank.
Okay, I'm an excessive person. If you're gonna wrap it like 4 times, might as well wrap it like 10 times.
Mizzen's ready. The weather had a different idea. Somehow knowing we had a big hole in the deck, we got one last rain for the season. So we put a bucket over the hole and switched to inside projects. We still have to make the mast wedges for the Mizzen and leather the shrouds. Other than that, we're ready to step. We still have plenty of projects to choose from down below. Garrett chooses an electrical project. I like your little tin nipple there.
A cheap way to get a heat shrink nozzle on your heat gun. Works really well. It's all just kind of rough in right now. Just got to get all your runs in first and then kind of tidy everything up later.
So you're just hooking up all of the switches?
Yeah, right now I'm just running all of the accessory panel, the bilge pumps. The main house power will come up into this guy. Ow, that's hot. And then the main house bank will come from our Blue Sea system. So through this guy, through a hole in the bottom of here. So that'll be the main house power right into there. That'll give me power to this whole system. So what I'm doing now is I'm just getting everything wired up so that when I put the power into this fuse box, then all the switches and everything will be hot. We've got this Blue Sea battery this isolator. So starter and the house initially go right into this, and then from here they go into this, and you can tell my very fancy wiring diagram that I've got.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So this senses the voltage in both battery banks, and so this automatically detects when the starter bank is full, so it lets your alternator start charging your house bank if you're running the engine. But then if it senses that the starter battery runs low, it cuts off the house bank and it sends all the alternator power to the starter battery. So that's the brain, and then from there you run your batteries into this. House bank will come in here, and then this stud will come out, and that's what feeds this whole thing.
And what is it, a house starter all standard
No, this
switch?
is different. This is very different. It's an automatic thing. So the brain is what senses if the bank is full or not. Mm-hmm. So there is no switching in between them. It's just always, it's automatic. It does the switching for you. So there's no fussing around with turning the switch to, you know, your starter bank, and then once you got your engine started, switching it to all, and then once you turn your engine off, switching it to house. It just does all of that for you. I have an excessive amount of bilge pumps on this boat. Our pumping capacity is like 9,800 gallons per hour.
It's a lot.
But the time when you really need, like really need a bilge pump is if you have a very serious leak, or say you hit something, or like something really bad happens. So,
and this can happen on fiberglass boats too, you know.
And because like all wooden boats leak, that's just inevitable. I mean, it'll happen even if they don't leak now. They'll leak eventually. But just a normal little bilge pump can keep up with that typically. But if something really bad happens, I want just to be able to fire hose everything out and have it keep up with the inflow of water until I can find where it's coming from and make a patch or something. So that's why we have such a big battery bank, and we have a ton of bilge pumps.
GPS navigation equipment, that'll all run through this electrical box.
Yes.
And our water pump, etc., etc.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Swab's instant kibble feeder.
Yep. That's right. My Margaritaville.
My interior project of choice? Painting.
What are you up to over there?
Oh, we're getting ready to put paint on the interior, not just to like protect the plywood, but because it's pretty. So that should be really exciting. I think we're just gonna do simple on the cabin walls, but I might kind of accent the fore and aft face and maybe the bulkhead too, but start ease into it slowly. Garrett's made the best decision of the build so far. He's given me full range on the interior. Layout, design, decorating's all up to me. Oh dear, what did I agree to? We've always made decisions together, but ultimately Garrett's had final say, as he's the experienced one and the captain. I'm starting safe, but I've got some big ideas to liven up our home. Garrett begins installing our first accessory, running water. Cutting another floorboard for the electrical pump. We haven't had water on demand in 5 years. We've been living with 5-gallon jugs and carting in our water. So Garrett's up here working on the water tank and trying to figure out where the strainer should go, and discovered that he's entrapped a gallon of tar. I don't know if you can see it, that can there. This is how far out the hatch is gonna be. That's not coming out that way. And then the water tank here and the bulkhead. You've totally encapsulated a gallon of tar.
Minor details. Minor details. Paying way too much attention.
So the strainer.
Exactly. Since this thing didn't come with any sort of mount, I'm just going to use the handle to unscrew, and I'm just going to put 2 holes, drill 2 holes in the handle, and then I'm going to screw a block of wood into the just for the sake of demonstration down there, but I'm just going to just screw a block of wood into the bulkhead and then mount that like that, and it'll hold it fine, and I'll just keep enough slack in the line so you can just lift it right out if you need to change it.
Oh, perfect. So this is from the tank to here. It goes through there. This is the out, which would go to our water pump.
Yeah, goes directly to the water pump. And then this is a reusable filter in there, the mesh, stainless steel mesh. And so if you start getting some sediment buildup and stuff, you can also just drain it out. It's got a little ball valve in the bottom. So if the filter is not clogging up too much, but you're getting some gunk in here, you can just do a quick thing, drain it. And that's kind of nice to have that.
Yeah, super nice.
So yeah, I'm gonna find a block of wood, start with that, get this mounted, and once I get that mounted, I think I'm gonna mount the pump right onto the stringer. Let's see what's flow. Yeah, so it flows that way. So yeah, I think I'm gonna mount the pump
perfect.
right onto the stringer.
Soon we'll have running water. But you'll have to wait until next week. Up next, more holes, pressure water, and paint.
So far, I'm not regretting my decision to give Ruth the interior.
Oh! Foreman swab.
Foreman swab is working really hard.
We have running water. Thanks for watching.
Daddy always told me, you're gonna be a bear, be a grizzly.
So it's your dad's fault?
Oh, for sure. When you can't find your knife, you can always use your dog's toenail clippers. And yeah, what else?
The heated bidet.
The heated bidet, the tanning booth.
Hot tub.
Really just, it's the necessities, you know.
Margaritaville, number 1 though.
Yeah.
If we run out of space, that's gotta, you know.
Yeah.
That's definitely going in.
That's top priority as far as I'm concerned.
Hot just like an oven.
Seriously.
Need some loving. Now you look like Aquaman.
am Aquaman.